Hey guys, today is Saturday. It is Saturday morning. Hurricane Helene came through Thursday night into Friday morning. And this is my first time home in the daylight to actually see what the damage was from that. I ended up Thursday night in Greenville at my boyfriend's house, and by the time I felt like roads were safe to travel on Friday, it was getting dark. And so, I'm sitting out looking over the garden, and it's not as bad as I thought it might be. I was very worried. The winds were very strong, and I'll walk you guys around the neighborhood in a little bit to show you kind of the sorts of destruction that happened here. The deadly combination that happened is, as the storm was coming in, there was a big wall of rain that came over the entire upstate of South Carolina, and it was raining here. Like, we had already gotten 10 inches of rain before the wind even started up, and so the ground was very, very saturated. And so once those winds hit, trees were literally being yanked out of the ground, like root plate and all, like yanking the ground up with them. They're everywhere. Like, everywhere I drove, there are trees just yanked out of the ground. The good news is, oh, hi, Kata. The good news is that none of those trees fell on my house, so I am so grateful for that. But essentially, the entire upstate of South Carolina is without power. As far as I can tell, Duke Energy, who supplies our power, said that 1.2 million of their customers were without power yesterday. And the last I heard, they would not be able to get back to us until today with even a proper evaluation of the damages so that they can start estimating when they will get power back. I know a lot of my neighbors have generators. I've heard them running, but I do not. And so going without power for a few days will be annoying, but I think fine. I don't know when this video is actually going to upload to you, because I don't know if I can upload it without my internet. But yeah. So here's what we're looking at. Definitely flatter than it was the last time you saw it. Something I'm noticing just immediately is all of this bent over, but not broken. Zinnia down. And I do see evidence, especially right in here, of a bunch of water rushing through. You can see it, the way it kind of destroyed all the mulch here. Right here, you can also see it. Honestly, better than I expected. I kind of was afraid that the entire garden would be fully flat, although this is absolutely not ideal. All this dead corn was shredded by the wind. Structures are still standing though. Trellises don't really look like they've even been touched. Very upright. Pergola is looking pretty sturdy. I am so glad that my dad decided to anchor it into the ground with those I guess they're like swing set anchors with the little spiral hooks into the ground. I bet it would have just completely blown away without that. Let's take a look at the swale. So last time I was here, it was raining, but the swale was not filling up because it was raining slow enough. And we can see by the way the water rushed across the garden that the swale did in fact fill up. And I think A good indicator of that is also this log here. It should be in line with the rest, but it's tilted to the side, so I bet it floated up on the water and then got set back down that way. There's leaves all over the yard and a couple of branches, but honestly, not very many at all. Just a couple here and there compared to other areas I've seen where everything is just completely covered in branches. Oh, and look, I don't know if y'all can tell the way that the grass is just like fully flattened here. It looks like a bunch of water was running down this way, right through here. Like the grass almost looks fully washed away coming through here. Cats are outside for the first time since the storm, exploring what happened too. I'm not really seeing noticeable damage around here by the raised beds. My gorilla cart was like over there, got scooted over, no big deal. Carrots look great. Definitely looks mostly fine up here. This is actually the only big branch with leaves I've seen in my whole yard. That's all we got. Not bad. These look mostly fine. You know? Not even little baby carrots got washed out. That's such good news. Even my little fig over here still has its one leaf. It's leaning over a bit more than it was, but I was not expecting it to still have its little leaf. So I don't know if I said this earlier, but part of the reason that I'm like totally fine without power, especially on food, is because I have a propane burner. My parents actually got it for me for Christmas to help me run my pressure canner because my silly little electric stove just will not put out enough heat to do it. It's got like a little sensor in it that keeps it from staying on high continuously, so it's like cycling on and off and not heating up. Anyway, I have a propane burner and I have cast iron, and I feel like I'm pretty well equipped to cook for many days. The only big problem is that like any leftovers that I happen to have cannot be stored, so I have to make like single portions or maybe just 2 portions, have one now, have one a little bit later. I do also have the good fortune of my boyfriend's dad living about 20 minutes away, and he has power, and so I've been able to take all of the big stuff out of my chest freezer and throw it into his freezer, so there's not just a ton of like really sensitive food that I think I'm going to lose. So I'm very happy about that, but I am wishing very much that I had a generator right now. It'll probably be a while before I can even get my hands on one. I'm sure any that were in stores are absolutely gone. But other news I've heard from people that I know is gas stations seem to be fully out of gas. Grocery stores that were open are like fully cleared out, and I don't even know what people are doing with all of that refrigerated food that they don't have power for. But I'm just grateful that I don't have to worry about any of that. I buy food in bulk. I'm not like super stocked up like some people, like maybe a homesteader might be. But I'm very decently good right now. If you're curious about keeping up with what's going on in my area, City of Greenville has a lot of an online presence, I guess. I've been keeping track of them through their Instagram account. It's been very helpful, really interesting also to see some of the stuff happening actually in downtown. There's been a lot more flooding over there. So if you're interested, you can go check that out. And, also a lot of people had it much worse than I did. I got so incredibly lucky. So I'm just hoping that, everybody is able to get through this, and, I'm thinking about them, and also just continuing to be grateful for what I do have. I'll see you guys soon, I hope. Happy gardening.